Alright, welcome to the first NerdNest Podcast. I'm Sarah Montgomery, I'm NerdNest Social Media Manager. So, here are all my guests for the first podcast.
I'm Joshua, Sarah's older brother.
I'm Daniel, the youngest / best.
So it's a family affair here today.
Yeah.
Alright, so what I wanted to talk to you guys about first, obviously we're kind of DC people. It's kind of rumored that DC is going to have a really big presence at Comic-Con and Marvel's not, they're going to be there, but they're not going to be, have a huge presence.
Well, I think it was because of DC's conversions wrapping up.
Okay.
And I admittedly haven't read any of it, but I really want to. And I heard that because people are mad about the new Batman design.
Yeah.
The Batman redesign. And I saw something on Instagram today about how people were going down and talking about oh, I'm not gonna pay for that. I don't want to buy a mech suit Batman. I pay for Batman because I want to see Bruce Wayne as Batman, which is kind of a terrible argument because a whole bunch of other people have been Batman already. And then on top of that, the most recent comment on the thread was, it was a good story. And that's what I think people are getting all worried about it, and
I mean, it's kind of like the female Thor thing, and
you just need to read it and
understand
that
Captain America. It's just they're just trying to get more attention to their universe again.
You just need to. They're just trying to do something new, and I mean, it's eventually gonna go back to normal. You just kind of got to.
I think it's definitely a growing theme because comic books have become more of a talked about thing. It's more it's come out of the subculture and into the mainstream. So people look at comic books and they don't know that much about it, so they jump right in and they latch on to things. Like, I latched on to this specific costume design or this character, and when something changes, they're like, oh, no, it's terrible, we can't do this. It's like, well, you haven't read the story.
Just like people with Guardians of the Galaxy. I know Jacob, when he got...
Our friend,
my friend Jacob, he got Guardians of the Galaxy of Marvel Now, Volume 1.
Mm-hmm.
And he hated the way Star-Lord looked.
Because it wasn't
Yeah. But I mean, eventually in the comics, he has multiple costumes, and eventually he gets a costume that looks like the one from the movies.
Right.
But at first, he's in this yellow and blue striped jumpsuit thing, and it's granted, way lamer looking than
his really cool leather jacket with his hair.
I mean, one, he looks like a space mercenary badass guy, and the other one, he's like, you look lame.
Oh.
Going back to the E3, I don't think it's because of Convergence that they have the greatest...
You mean Comic-Con?
Is it Comic-Con?
Yeah,
I was thinking of E3.
Yeah.
Well, it is coming up.
We'll get to that later. What I think about Comic-Con, Convergence probably has some factor to do with it, but I kind of think it's a lot more about, Marvel's pretty established in the media now. Like they're one of the best movies ever now. And DC, they're just now about to hit that.
Yeah.
Hey, we're starting our master plan now. Marvel's like, we already did it.
Yeah,
so DC's trying to. I think they're showing up we got this movie and this movie and this movie and this movie. So people are like, hey, DC's picking it up.
Yeah, I totally on the same track.
I think that's what it is.
I'm on the same track as you are, Daniel, because I think that DC has a lot to announce and a lot to show. Like, they've got Supergirl coming out, they've got Lucifer, their TV show coming out, they've got Legends of Tomorrow, and then again, their cinematic universe in itself just kickstarting. With Convergence, they have so much to talk about, and Marvel's just they're gonna come Captain America: Civil War.
You already knew that was a thing.
Also, Ant-Man. I was like, okay, we knew that.
Although I'm excited, I'm actually really excited about both of those.
Ant-Man looks really cool.
It's not that I'm not excited.
That's the thing though, I love comic books. I love DC, but I love comic books.
I like superheroes.
I love the struggle that they have, and the show on Netflix, Daredevil.
Mm-hmm.
Have y'all seen it?
Yeah.
I've finished to start watching it this week.
I just finished it 2 nights ago.
When did you start it?
2-3 weeks ago.
Okay.
I thought
it was going to be an embarrassing short amount of time, because I know I'm going to start and finish this weekend.
For some reason, I couldn't get into it as much as I got into Arrow or some of the other stuff. There's just something about it that, it wasn't bad. I actually really, really enjoyed it, and I've gained huge respects for Daredevil. There was something that I can't put my finger on. I mean, I'm really looking forward to the next season, and I think it's kind of interesting how Marvel and DC are trying to compete one up each other. Marvel's trying to get into the TV shows, and DC's trying to get into the movies.
Yeah, Marvel did a good job.
And they both already have
with Netflix with that.
Netflix is that is the.
What I think is interesting.
I think DC needs to get on that.
I agree, but what I think is interesting about Netflix specifically is that with TV shows on Netflix, if they start on Netflix, they're almost always phenomenal. But if they get canceled on another network and then Netflix picks them up, it's like a graveyard.
So yeah, I was about to say
I
that.
love Arrested
Bernie
Development.
from Rooster Teeth, he made a tweet about that saying, Netflix is the place where TV shows go to die.
Yeah.
Which I think there's a lot of truth
They're
in that
born
sentence.
and they go there to die. So a lot of people were hoping that Constantine, one of the DC shows, when it was canceled, it would get picked up by another Netflix. And one of the possible ones was Network, not just Netflix. But it's really shown, like, every time a TV show has gone on to Netflix, after being shown on TV, it almost never works out.
That's just because I'd have to say it's probably mostly due to the fact that it's just a different set of writers or director or something. Like, it's not. It might have the same actors. It might have a few of the same writers, but they're not all there.
Because you got that with
Because a lot of those people I'm sure, I don't know exactly how it works, but I'm sure there's a lot of them there that are under contract with the various networks, and they can't continue writing on their show because
and for
they have
Arrested
to write on
Development,
something else,
Arrested
or they've got
Development,
something else going
the
on.
humor was pretty much the same, but the way they shot the show was different. So instead of each episode telling a different story, it was each episode told the same story from a different person's perspective. And it was like, okay, why did they, like, it seems like such a trivial change, but you know, from as far as I've watched Orange is the New Black.
Well, that's very
it's
good.
a
I'm
really
excited
good
for
show.
that coming back out.
It's a really, really good show.
I didn't even think I would like it too much. There's like
Dale, you feel like,
Yeah, I heard it was good.
It's about ladies in prison.
I'm aware.
It's like I saw it all over the internet. I'm like, this is a show about women's prison.
Jacob
Cool.
Jacob said that to me. He's like, dude, Orange is the New Black is good. I went, what? The female prison? I don't know.
It's like, yeah, it's like, I don't know what to make of that show until you watch it. You're like, this is actually.
I want to watch all of Netflix original shows, but there's so many of them.
Yeah. It's also, the great thing about Netflix shows is it really feeds into this culture, this growing culture of binge watching, where that's just like a passive activity.
That's what I do now. I could get off work, sit down with just a buttload of food, and I literally binge. I binge on the TV, I binge on my food.
Everything's binging, and then by the end of it, you're just like.
I literally go to bed just like.
That's how I felt when I first got into Merlin, and this was, I think, I got into Merlin probably right after season 5 was put on to No, it was before season.
It was before season 5.
Before season 5
I
was.
remember season 5 came out.
Before season 5 was put on Netflix, I started watching it. I got Daniel into it. I tore through that so fast. It was around Christmas time, I think, because I came downstairs and I was like, I hadn't been heard from for days, and my mom's like, Sarah, your eyes are red. I'm like, I'm sorry. I don't know. It's like, where have you been? Have you eaten? I'm like, no.
I think Daniel was mad because of how disinterested I was in Merlin. Like,
Yeah.
I liked it, but it was like.
But then again, I think
just
we
like
all
the
have
magic
things like
stuff
that.
so much.
I agree. I love the fantasy, but like we tried to get Daniel into Supernatural, and he's like, nah.
I like
liked
okay,
it.
let me defend myself there. I like it. I do. But I feel like CW shows in general have that problem of they try pushing this drama on you. I'm like, okay, I get it, it's a big deal, but I don't care.
I don't need the
And
reminder.
you know, Arrow does that where it's just kind of, Felicity and Oliver, they're meant to be, and then they keep doing that back and
And then
forth. They break up, they get together, and I'm just like, okay,
You had the
I
drama
know
of,
it's gonna happen, but I do not care. / want
yeah, they
it
don't
to
need
happen.
they don't need to shove it down your throat in every single episode.
Yeah, it's like they feel like they need to constantly remind you. It's like, well,
All right.
especially with binge watching, like I remember from.
Yeah. Don't want to be off topic too much. Just one quick thing: that Iron Man has nipples.
Those are bolts, Josh. They're
It doesn't matter.
It's like there was someone got mad about that with Game of Thrones. Joshua, you read.
You're going back to the old topic we were going too.
No, I'm commenting on this. I'm going off of Nipples.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I
So
don't see what
on
it says.
on Game of Thrones,
Right.
the TV show, which none of us have HBO, so we watch. They got mad because the armor designers for I think the Sand Snakes. Do you know?
I know who you're talking about.
It's like some women warriors.
Yeah.
The armor for them not only has very defined breastplate, but it also has like little nipples in the armor. And everyone's like, okay, we've had issues with this whole breastplate thing before. Like, they're not really useful. It doesn't really do anything. But nipples? Why?
Or the was it the Clooney Batman?
That was another, like, I don't know why you think nipples are a good idea, but they just don't work in spandex.
Well, they're heroes
or
just
armor.
like us, and they have nipples just like
I don't know
us.
where they get that from.
I'd like to relate to them on a scale that's not nipples.
All right. I'm sorry. What were we talking about? It was
We're
the
talking
DC
about
shows.
CW kind of pushing that whole.
Yeah, no, CW definitely, they do that a lot.
I
And
think
there was
that's
a...
it. And the thing is, why I can forgive it more with Arrow than I can with Supernatural is because CW thing they push is like that brotherly bond. We're in this together, and you know those two characters are always together, with a couple of exceptions where they get split up fighting
Mhm.
some monster.
And even
you
then,
know,
the reason why they get split up is because
no
of some
communication or something.
brotherly bond.
Yeah. It's
Brotherly
like, I want to protect
bond.
Sammy, so I'm going to
Yeah,
leave Sammy.
and it's
so I
annoying
can
because
go
it's
fight.
always that push thing of, hey,
I mean,
they're brothers, and they always talk about it every
that's-
episode. But CW, it's like
see, that's
they're
the
not
thing,
the two
though,
main
is,
characters, so you get a break from it.
Like,
And I like that.
right now, I haven't
It's-
seen Supernatural in a few months, and this happened last time I watched.
I think it was with season 9.
Yeah, I finished season 10. I was watching one.
When I was watching season 9, I remember thinking, I was like, oh man, I'm kind of like tired of the whole brother argument thing. It's the same old, same old. And then I watched season 9 in a day and a half.
Yeah, that's I can
I love
totally
that
relate.
show
I can
so
totally
much,
relate.
but
I
I'm
was-
mad at him.
Yeah, because I was watching season 10 as I think I caught up through totally legal watching it on the internet, and then I caught up to where they like put it out on the CW, and so I would watch it because I kept going out of towns for conventions. So I was in the terminal with my laptop watching the last episode of Supernatural, and I'm like, and the poor people at the airport around me are like, oh my god, who's this crazy person? Because I can't see my screen because I planned it that way. But I definitely felt that where I'd start a new episode and they do the then, and I'd be like, oh my god, yeah, I've totally, yeah, okay, I remember Sam and Dean are having a fight about this thing, and Cass is being melodramatic over there, and you've got this whole thing with Charlie and Rowie, yeah, okay, can we just get on to the show? And then I'm like, totally, like 2 seconds in, like, okay,
But there's
you got
nothing
my
better
attention.
when they do then, and then it's something from season 1, and you're just like
oh,
what?
that is in any show that is always a great indicator of like how bad is this show going to mess me up, or like how long am I going to just be screwed by this show, is if it's like then something that happened 3 seasons ago, you're like, oh
Adventure
my
Time did
God.
that. Adventure Time.
When Adventure Time
did
has
that
a,
hard.
even when
This was a
Adventure Time
long
has
time
What
ago. I think
happened?
I think it was the first season. You remember that like Jake had this dream about like Banana Man, and it was like a dream of how he was going to die.
Mhm.
And then in the most recent episode, they're in space, and Jake's floating away from Finn. Finn's like, oh no, and his dream's gonna come true. And Jacob was there with me, and he was just, no way, they're making this reference. Like, since the beginning of this year,
That's
series.
a show I feel like you need to, like, if it comes out on Netflix.
Yeah.
I think it is on Netflix.
Solid show.
Probably
Solid
is.
show.
There's about 3 animated shows, aside from like the superhero genre, that I want to get into, and it's like Adventure Time, Gravity Falls, and I feel like I should watch Steven Universe because I see it everywhere.
Get into is a hard word.
Yeah.
That's along the
I'm not
lines
gonna
of
watch those. I'll watch Adventure Time.
if I'm not watching something right now,
Yeah.
I might watch that.
Yeah.
That's where it is for me.
I agree.
Because
What
there's,
do you mean?
you know, when you just finished up a show, like I just finished up Daredevil. Now I'm kind of looking for some other show to watch.
Right.
That would be the place to fill it in. I'm gonna watch that.
See, I'm different because I have like a running list because I feel like I need to keep up with things, and I get very kind of annoyed if I see something I'm like, I don't know what that is. So I try to like find it out. But a lot of the times I'll know what the thing is, but I don't know anything about the thing. So like, I'll be with a
Does that
friend.
make sense to you?
Like when Rain,
Yeah, I know.
the founder of NerdNest, Rain, she and I went to Calgary Con and Las Vegas Wizard World and Denver Comic Con. Throughout the whole thing, we'd be walking around the showroom and we'd see fan art or cosplays and be like, oh, that's from Steven Universe. She's like, oh, have you watched that show? I've been meaning to watch it.
Oh, okay.
I'm like, no, I haven't seen a single episode. I just know that that's from Steven Universe. It's partly because I'm on Tumblr and it just happens to cross my dash. It's also partly because I just go on loser websites like for nerds and read articles about nerd things.
I
I'm a nerd.
I can see
And
that
I
now.
suck.
Just like how you know lots of random things about random video games I've never played.
Like, oh yeah, well, that's a great example for me too, because I don't play video games, but I can actually hold a conversation with someone about video games. And there's always a point in the conversation where like, so what's your favorite game that you've played? I'm like, I've never played
I've played
video
Halo
games.
3 multiplayer about 5 times.
So that was
Shadow
pretty
of
good.
Mordor looks good.
And then, you know, you and I sat down, and
That
I
was
played.
such a bad
I know.
experience for
I
me.
was guys, I'm really into Lord of the Rings, and I was like, when Shadow of Mordor came out, I was like, I should play this because I totally dig Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
And I sat down with Daniel to play it, and it was so brutal. Like, first of all, I just can't get down with the whole movements with the 2 thumbsticks. I know it's not hard. In my mind,
It's like walking and looking.
I know, in my mind, it's the sensitivity that I think gets me, because I'll be like, I'll
You
be
could
walking.
change that.
Yeah, but effort. I'll be walking, and then the sensitivity and it gets me because I'll walk, and then I'll see someone's attacking me, and I'll just turn and I'll just start like spinning around all the way. And I'm like, I
She
don't
figured
know.
out running, so she got pretty good at running away from the orcs. Other than that, like,
I would like
Ooh,
fight
this
for a little
thing
bit,
that's
and they all
fun and
attack.
easy.
see,
me.
the worst part is with me. One thing I would like to take pride in is in the Batman games, just Rocksteady games with that fighting style. I like to think I'm really good at those. I'm very good at fighting in those. And then seeing Sarah do this, like, just press X. Come on. Get 5 combo, please.
I really wish I had more time for video games. Like, I get home from work. I wish again, it's like I wish I didn't work as much. But if I didn't work as much, I'd be bored out of my mind.
But you have no money to buy.
And then you have no money to not buy the video games that you want to play.
It's a vicious
So,
cycle.
Yeah, like I want. There's just like I gotta beat Halo the Master Chief Collection. I'm working through that right now, which is oh my god. I'm still on a 100% Skyrim.
Really?
I still haven't done that.
Good luck, bud. That was
Well,
a
I
hard
haven't
thing,
but
man.
even on top of that, I haven't played the DLC, the Dragonborn DLC.
So for Skyrim 100%ing, is the difficulty? It's not beating the levels. Is it the side quests or is it the collectibles?
There's no collectibles, which I
no,
like. There is
it's-
one, but it's not even an
it
achievement.
kind of comes through.
It's a lot of grinding because the hardest one for me was kill a legendary dragon.
It's usually along the
and
lines
for those
of
to appear, it's like level 87, I think. So I had to get to level 87, and normally when you beat the game, you're like maybe 30 if you're lucky.
Yeah. So okay.
There's
It's a lot of
there's-
just killing stuff.
There's also a lot of like beat this quest line.
Which is,
And
I
they've
think the
got a lot
DLC
of-
quest lines
I
are
know,
really
like,
good, so.
I know most
Like-
games aren't just strictly A to B. They have A to B with tangent AA, BB,
Yeah.
CC.
That's not. But Skyrim is different. Skyrim is like
It's got A to B with the main storyline, and then it's got the Civil War storyline, so it's like C to D, and then
So is there different endings?
no, not really, but it's like
There's just
you just got multiple quest lines
I would say it's
there's
options.
very
There's
There's
little.
not a lot of. It
You
doesn't
have a
like
lot
loop
Sometimes there's
patterns.
crossover, but it's like you don't really.
I think for Skyrim, it's kind of
It's
like
not
there's
like
a lot of
there's-
options. I
there's-
mean,
I don't-
the main storyline's a thing, yeah, but after playing the main storyline 7 times, I kind of hate it. So
I feel like
now
that's-
it's just let's do the Dark Brotherhood. 'Cause
I-
I don't want to look at
The
That's
last
pretty much what I always
character
dragon.
I made in Skyrim, I got out of the cave and went,
I'm out.
I'm not even going to Winterhell. Screw that place.
Yo, Thieves Guild, hook
I
me
just-
up.
I went somewhere else. I don't remember where I went. I think I went to Winterhold or something. I don't know why. I was like, I'm gonna go that way.
So what's your favorite video game? If you had to pick one.
Skyrim or Tetris.
Okay. Well.
All right,
Hold
nostalgia
on.
glasses
Pause.
on.
Pause. Wait. Let me ask a twofold question. What is your favorite video game to play? And if you only could play one video game from here out, what video game would it be?
one video game from here out would be Skyrim.
God no.
No,
God,
it would be
no.
like
I
it's
played
the one.
so much of that.
Well, Skyrim and Elder Scrolls game. just because that gives you the most option. I mean, other than like maybe Minecraft, but I mean,
God no.
but no, but
Especially
like,
if
if you have one
so
game,
bored.
if you have one game to choose to play, you better pick a game that you can just keep playing a different way every single time. Because I can make a sword character, I can make a bow, I can do whatever. Maybe like a Fallout, but I prefer Skyrim. And then, but my favorite game, nostalgia glasses turned on, hardcore mode, Halo 3.
That's what you say it. Halo 3.
Love that game. Reason why I got an Xbox 360. Like, literally the only reason why I got an Xbox.
It's kind of sad.
In fact,
to
it
think
was one
how
of
long
3
we had
games we
Xbox
had.
360, Halo 3, and a Rock Band.
Like, that was
That's
all we
it.
had.
That's all we had for a
I
couple
don't know.
months.
I think Viva Pinata makes it up. No.
But,
oh yeah.
But I mean I don't really know what my favorite game is.
What about you, Dale?
Skyrim, Tetris are two of my favorite games. Tetris is addicting.
You're ridiculous with Tetris, though.
That's.
Play it way too much, and you're just like disturbingly good.
Do you still play it?
Not as much, mainly because I've accepted that I'll never get to 4 million. I don't think it's possible in this mobile app. It's just physically, you can't move your thumb fast enough to, because it just, oh, I'm lost,
So
okay.
what's your high score right now?
It's like 3,780,000, something like that.
On that sad, pathetic note, we have to wrap up soon. So thank you for joining us for the first weekly podcast. We'll be putting these out every week. So yeah, again, check the link, the description for our links to social media and our website and our blog to check out what we post. All right, we'll see you next week.
Bye.